So you've gone through the process of positioning layers in 3D space. You've added some lights, you've adjusted the material options. And now to create your final animation. All we have to do is add a camera into the scene. So, to start, let's look at our timeline. And sure enough, we have 3 different lights that are in the scene. And we have several layers with 3D enabled. So to add a camera, let's go up to the layer menu and choose New, Camera. There are 2 different kinds of cameras we can choose from. Click on the camera type and let's select the one knob camera first. Go to the preset drop-down. Click on that, and you'll notice we have a bunch of different focal lengths. And these are designed to functions like DSLR lenses. So I'll choose a 50mm lens. Come down to the bottom and click OK. The camera has been added into the scene, and just to keep things organized, I'll place it above all of my lights. Press P to open the position data of that camera 1, and then in order to see the scene more clearly, I want to change the view in the composition panel. So go to the lower right area of the composition panel and click on the drop down where it says 1 View. Switch it to 2 views, horizontal. And then click on the left side here to make the view active. Press the Command key to zoom out. I press it twice, then press and hold the spacebar down to get your hand tool. Click and drag up so we can actually see the camera in the scene. Now with a one node camera, if I scrub on the X axis, it's going to move perfectly parallel to what it's looking at in the scene. But I don't necessarily want that. So I'm going to go ahead to disable the visibility for camera 1. Go back up under the layer menu and choose New, Camera. This time under the type, change it to the 2 node camera and click OK. Press P to open the position. And with the 2 node camera, scrub on the X axis. And you'll notice this camera will continually point to the middle of the scene. Now hold down the Shift on your keyboard. Click and drag on the X until we get way far over the side, to the side. Something like this. Click on the stopwatch. Add to your first animation. Move 3 seconds down to the timeline. Let's hover over the X perimeter, click and drag, and then hold Shift after you start to drag. And that will give us a nice motion to the camera. Notice, once we actually set 2 positions with the camera, the motion path has handles. So here I'll click on this handle. I'll just drag it out a little bit. And I can do the same thing on this left handle. And now we can give a little arc to our camera as it rotates around. In order to view this, let's click on the right side of our viewpoint here. To make the active camera side active, and then change our views from 2 views to 1 view. And then press the spacebar. It may take a second to load up in RAM and cache it, and you can actually see it. Through the magic of editing, I will just show you what this looks like in a second. Now, that probably took a little while in render, but there are a lot of lights in the scene with a lot of different settings. And that's something you should just be aware of when you are animating objects in 3D space. But when it's come to flying cameras through a 3D scene, you have 2 choices: 1-node camera or a 2-node camera. It's a 2-node camera that has a point of interest. So if you would like to orbit around something like we just did in our scene, make sure you use the 2-node camera.